Again, necessary growth, part of development. But if we get stuck there, there is tremendous suffering. One of the things that is on my mind a lot at the moment is different levels of consciousness. Don't get spooky on me. Don't get all weird. What I'm talking about can be understood purely psychologically. So you can have a very internalized, rigid, materialistic level of consciousness that we might call ego. We might say, for want of a better term, it's the ego. So that's you at your identity level. What you have, what you want, what is yours, what is not yours. And if you wanted like the developmental psychology element of that, you'd say it's like who you are by the time you're age 4. You need that. You have to have it. It's essential to function in the world. As Terence McKenna said, you need to have an ego so that you put the food in your mouth, not in somebody else's mouth. You need to know that you have a mouth, that you have needs. And yes, sometimes you will put food in other people's mouths, but if you never put food in your mouth, the end result is not a desirable outcome for successful living as a human being. What happens though when, as we move past the age of 4 into adulthood, into life, and we're coming from this ego, like what's in it for me? What do I want? What am I about? And that lower level of consciousness, that is power, that is dominance, that is sex, violence, survival, narcissism, the psychopathic dominance of other people. Again, necessary growth, part of development. But if we get stuck there, there is tremendous suffering. And if we operate from there, there is tremendous suffering. The more we stop seeing individuals and the more we see a collective, the more we see collective consciousness. You should have an ego. You should have ego boundaries, but I don't think there's longevity in living from that place. I think it intrinsically causes suffering. And at some point you have to transcend that and pull out and go, no, there's more than all this. Actually, these things are temporary. So in Buddhism, they would say it's an, and in Hinduism, it would be, it's an illusion. I don't think it means my hand is not my hand. It's an illusion of a hand. I think it means the illusion of permanence. The illusion of being is an illusion. It's a hand, sure, there's something there, but it's not permanent and it's not a fixed thing. It's actually flickering in and out of reality at the level of quanta. It's mainly space. That's a bunch of particles vibrating and moving. That's actually mainly space, but it seems solid. And something causes it to remain a hand. Some force causes this to remain a hand and not to just in the moment just disintegrate or, I don't know, turn into an elephant's trunk or something. So the illusion is permanence. The illusion is the thing is real. It isn't permanent. It has a reality, but the reality is moving. It's all moving. It's all here for now. It's a going, it's a passing, it's a happening. Life actually is an unfolding. It's a phenomenological unfolding. The apocalypse is actually, it's always the apocalypse. It's always now, and it's always the apocalypse. It's always apocalypse now, because the apocalypse means the unveiling, and every second you're alive, it's unveiled, unveiled, unveiled. Now, 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 and it's new. It's hard to cope with that when you're coming from the level of ego. In fact, it's distressing. But if you can, you don't need to like drop your ego and be egoless, but like if you could just go, oh no, maybe there's a little bit of something that's beyond that. Maybe I can come from another perspective. Just zoom out and take a higher perspective. It's not distressing. It's actually really enlightening to the extent that it lightens the load. It lightens the burden of being. Being is a burden. Existing is a burden. And existing as egoic individual consciousness all the time is really heavy. Coming out of that, pulling focus makes life easier, makes connections with others easier, and I think it makes it easier to resolve trauma as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and your attention. These are the most precious things that you have. Please spend them wisely, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Cheers.